Hi, this is a tutorial for my instrumental version of Bang Bang, My Baby Shut Me Down, originally done by Nancy Sinatra and used in the Kill Bill movie, which popularized it more recently, and I learnt it to enter into reddit.com's bi-weekly ukulele competition. If you don't know that, head over to reddit.com/r/ukulele. Check out the sticky post. There'll always be something on a competition. It's a really good way to get ideas for things to try on the ukulele and see what other people are doing with those same kind of ideas. They had one recently that was for murder ballads, and I thought this fitted the bill quite recently. So we're going to look at the chords that we have for this song and the structure of this song and the runs that you put on top of it to simulate the vocal line. There's three basic sections. There's an instrumental riff, goes like that. The whole track is instrumental when you're playing it, this version, but in the original that's an instrumental bit. There's a verse which is that part, and there's also a middle eight which appears in place of the verse and goes higher up like that. So first we'll take a look at the instrumental part, the riff. There are three chords this is based around. The first is E minor, which is the key that the whole piece is in. The original is actually in F minor. If you want to play along, you'll have to transpose it up a semitone. It is possible, so like that, but it just felt to flow more nicely using the open E minor as the basis, so I transposed it to that. So you'll need the E minor, which is this shape here. You'll also need your open C. It's very simple. And you need to use that version rather than this version because we want that fret to remain open so that when we move on it, it is apparent. And we also are going to use a bar chord version of B7. So we're going to bar the second fret, and then on the C string we're going to fret that in third position. And that's going to be the basis of our run through the instrumental part. So the three chords, the E minor, the C, and the B7. And then it returns back to the E minor. Now on top of that, we are going to layer some runs. So we first run is on the E minor, and we strum the chord first. And then we're going to play the three fretted notes in the chord one by one. And then we're going to come down to the A. You can either play the A fretted on the 5th fret on the E string, or you can play it open on the A string. It's quite nice to play it actually in the fretted position here because it means that you can leave this top B, which is part of the E chord, ringing, which is really nice. So, and then down to the G that you've already got fretted in the chord. So the next run's over the C chord. So again, we strum the chord first, and then we play the opening, fret it to the G on the 3rd fret, and then up to the C on the A string on the 3rd fret, down one fret to the B, and then to the A. So. And then the 3rd chord is the B7. So we strum that, and then we play up the 3 strings from the C string, which will be playing a D sharp, then an F sharp on the E string, and a B, sorry, not a B there, instead of playing the fretted B, we first play a C on that 3rd fret on the A string, then release that to get our fretted B. Noise in the background is the cat, he's playing with the mouse. And then we play the A on the E string, and then the G and the F sharp, and then back to our E minor chord that we let ring. So B7, on the original there's some proper tremolo style vibrato, so the best we can do on the ukulele is just give it a bit of a shake. Okay, so you put that together and you should get okay, and that's going to come into play. We'll play that a few times throughout the song. Then you have the verse. The verse starts on the E minor, and the melody is this B at the top here. It starts there. It goes up to the C like that. Now I bend my finger like that to fret both these two strings at the same time to hit that C. You could try doing it by moving this finger up instead. I don't think it really makes sense to try and fret that with your little finger. But whatever works for you. Then we're going to drop the E at the base of the chord here on the C string down to a D sharp. But we're going to do exactly the same thing on the A string. Bringing it from the B up to the C and back down. Okay. Next up we're going to play an open A. So that's this, this, and this. Excuse the cat. And we're going to go on the top string from the A up to the B on the 2nd fret. And then the final chord and that we're going to use as we roll around is the B7, the barre chord that we've already seen in the intro. But we don't want to sound that top B because the melody is actually on the A and we're going to go up to the B. So if we play it in the chord, we'll preempt it. So if we just play it in this shape, now we're going to go to the B here. Now depending on what you find easier, you can either go A to the B, or you can actually do that on the G string. Depends which one you find easier. The next thing that we do after we do that riff is go from the B to the C and back down and then to the E minor chord, which means that sometimes you might find it easier to play it here, because if you do, as you slide that up to the C, all these fingers are then in place for the E minor, so you can slide that in nice and easily. It's a bit more tricky to get that changeover smooth if you do it here. Ooh, see. Just a bit less natural. See whichever way you prefer. And it does exactly the same thing. So again. This time when we get to the B7, we do want to sound that top note because we're going to run down to get to our E minor there. So it's the B at the top, and then on the E string I'm going to play the A, then the G, then the F sharp that's part of your bar, and then we're going to go back to the guitar riff. So. The final part is the middle eight that comes after we've done guitar part, verse, guitar part, verse, guitar part. And that is going to go from an E minor, although actually that's a power chord really, it doesn't have a third in it, so that's just an E, it's not major or minor. You could play it as minor if you could stretch, but here's our E minor, and then that's where your melody needs to get up to, so it's a little tricky, which is why I play it here. You could probably find an inversion that does fit going up to here to get the full E minor, but I haven't in my version. And then the D is literally moving that all down one, so just move the chord down one tone or 2 frets. And then we end up back on the C. We can play this one open again. And our B 7th chord. Okay, so look at that again. And then the tune just goes back to a verse and then a guitar riff to finish. Check out the full version, the recorded version through if you're not sure of the structure. Play along with that, have a look back, let me know if this tutorial's been any of use to you and if there's anything else you want me to cover in a tutorial in the future. Thanks.